We live,
We live.
live. I want to say welcome everybody to Prolifically Limitless TV podcast. I'm his co-host. I'm Mac. Y'all gonna get into meeting more keys today because we're gonna get a little bit personal, internal, and you guys really get to figure out who you guys are watching. Know a little bit of inside information, in depth. Like we said, real people talking about real stuff.
Getting real personal today.
Yeah.
So I hope y'all enjoy. This is going to be something special. Let's get kind of in depth and learning about who we are as personally. And you know what I'm saying? Have a nice little chill time. So again, um, follow us on all of social media. As you see, it's already posted. Links are all in the description. And let's get into it.
All right. Well, I chose the topic today, men's mental health, and the reason why I chose men's mental health, I feel like it's a topic that nowadays you're hearing about it, but you don't really hear about it from people, real people, real people that you know, real people that you see on a daily basis, and it's something that I've dealt with personally. I feel like Trey's dealt with it personally. A lot of people even watching this have dealt with it personally, and I'm curious to figure out how people decompress. How do men as a whole still find it in themselves to be human? It's tough out here.
Let's
Um,
get into that story time. Let's see what you got for me.
yeah. So my name is Marquise. Most of you guys know me as Matt. I'm a single father of one. I take care of a sick mother. A little bit about my lifestyle. I was a security guard working nightlife for about 8 years. Last year, I had an incident, which, unfortunately enough, it resulted in, a DUI. It resulted in, tarnishing my record, somewhat of what I believe to be perfect, but perfect in the sense of, no errors, not getting in trouble, things like that. The backstory behind a lot of that was, and I'll get straight into it, is the night prior to, as someone that battles, men's mental health, I do take medication. I am an abuser of alcohol in a sense, so I can sit there and admit that, I am an alcoholic. I do drink excessively. A lot of that comes from, trying to decompress, as men, whether you grew up in a household where, your father was an avid drinker, maybe didn't pay attention to the kids as much, or, didn't, pay attention to your mom, didn't treat you a certain way. I feel like the old ways of decompressing are, they're generational. They're generational. My grandfather was a drinker. My pops was a drinker. My uncle's a drinker. It's genetics. It runs in your blood. But on this particular night, I was going through a lot mentally. I believe, I wasn't in the right mind. I felt that I really wanted to be left alone on this particular evening. I wanted, just to be able to have the right headspace to just think about stuff and just be left alone. This all goes based off of a 2 year, 3 year relationship, and the relationship had so much turmoil. I had higher expectations of the situation. I was trying to be this perfect good guy, go to work, come home, go to work, come home, go to work, come home. And the person that I was before this situation was, I I believe my mental health wasn't as bad because I just dealt with my situation as, I wasn't stuck in a situation. You feel me? On this particular night, went to work. I worked as a security guard. I was maybe had like 22, 23 shots. I got
Okay.
in,
Yeah,
yeah,
you was in it.
I was
You was
on.
in
Yeah, I
it.
was on.
Yeah.
Um, I got into a little scuffle with my brother. Me and him both being intoxicated. Almost, because of the situation, being inconsiderate, being selfish. I could have did possible harm to my brother. Um, got drunk, got into a car, got cut off on the freeway, but at the same time, kind of was glad in the sense getting cut off on the freeway, and went into a ditch. And airbags deployed, car was totaled. Um, I don't remember much of the situation that happened. before. I kind of blacked out. When I woke up, I was in the hospital, sitting on a table. Face was bleeding. Um, Rather, what? Yeah, my face was bleeding. I didn't have too much recollection of the night. Still pretty much drunk. Um, you know, I was unaware of my situation. I was able to pull, the needles and stuff out of my arms. Still drunk, not feeling nothing. Really numb to just everything. You know what I'm saying? And to walk out the back of the emergency room door and go to see where my family's at. Oh, yeah, there those pictures right there, so you guys can kind of see what the outcome was at. Um, for me, and going off that situation, I messed up my life in six. I got a DUI. I lost my license for a year. Um, it's more of a internal thing compared to the physical. The physical, I walked away fine. A couple scratches on my face, but disappointment. Disappointment was something that really sat on my heart. In the sense, I disciplined my family. I was selfish in the sense that my daughter. Um, I didn't think too much about the repercussions of my actions, and I felt like in this particular situation, um, maybe I could have reached out to somebody. Maybe there were other outlets. Maybe there were other things that could have been done to where I didn't go about my situation the way I went about it.
Mm.
But this is also to let you guys know it's not as simple as sitting there talking to somebody. It's not as simple as getting on a podcast and speaking and hoping that people are hearing what you're saying. It's not as simple as hopping on social media and saying, "Hey, I need help. Hey, I need help. Hey, I need help." It's not that simple. I held that situation. People didn't know about that for a whole 8 months after the fact. No one knew I got into an accident. I went back to work the very next day.
Shit, how do you
I
do
acted as if it was,
that?
yeah. I acted as if it was normal. I was so damn ashamed of the situation, and people didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about men's mental health. People don't know. You really don't know. Everybody. The idea of a man is to be big, brawly, strong, a provider. We have so much of the
Quiet.
weight of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, quiet about it. So much of the weight of the world on our shoulders. Being a father, being a family man. In my situation, I was doing everything for everybody but myself. You know,
I
I
heard
take
that.
care of everybody before myself. And that's what a lot of us men deal with. Going to the gym is like a decompressor. Sitting down with your boys is a decompressor. Taking long walks is a decompressor. Breathing fresh air is a decompressor. But the negative decompressors that add on to a situation that may be toxic or may be volatile is, the taking of medication, mixing it with alcohol, not to say, smoking weed or anything of those things are horrible things because everybody has their own coping mechanism, but those are
Everybody has
coping
their vice.
mechanisms.
Everybody has their
Yeah.
vice. Can't count that
Yeah.
out. So,
Those are all coping mechanisms.
yeah. So let me ask you this. After all that story, first off, let me say we're glad you're still here. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't your
Appreciate
time.
you,
We're
man.
glad nobody took you. You know what I mean? You still got work to be done. You know what I mean? We still gotta raise these little ones. So first off, let me give you your flowers. I'm glad you're still here, man.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Second, for the audience that's watching, you know what I mean? What type of things that you actually had to endure after the case to kind of, what I'm saying, level yourself out. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people they hear about the situation itself, but they don't understand what comes after it. That after effect hurts more than what I'm saying, the situation itself. So speak on that
I
one.
mean, with that, you have to also understand, laying to get home, to lay in bed, still be drunk, to truly break down in a sense. Like I'm not gonna hold you. I sat here in the bed and was like, I wish that was my time, bro. Like I was ready to go. I was ready to check out. Um, Truly ready to check out. Like it's the lecturing and everything you can get from others. There's only so much to the disappointment that you can do for yourself. A lot of people aren't never disappointed in themselves. They're just disappointed that they got caught. I wasn't disappointed that I got caught. I was disappointed that something that was, held up for so long was able to get out the way it was able to get out. I was more upset that I was able to allow a person, a human being who's supposed to be there, supposed to kind of like put you in a situation where you're not in that space, allow them for me to be the self destruction of my own self. Um, Most of you guys don't know, I was a commercial driver. I had a CDL. I lost my CDL. I took a lot of loss in this situation. Currently back on the build back up. There's fees for stuff like this. There's a lot of stuff, man. And, it goes past the finances. Like you said, living is one thing. To be able to live and come across other people going through this stuff, and to have to build yourself back up mentally is it's a tough thing. I like to say I'm a very sheltered person. The situation has made me introverted. It's put me in a point where when I go out, I have to go out with the company of good company, people that I find to be to stop me. I have a brother who, even when I work with, he's cut me off at the bar. He's cut me off when I'm going to drinking because he was there when the situation occurred. And to put yourself around good energy, around good people, is to be in a good space.
Let me ask you a question, because I feel like we both, like you said in the beginning, like we both dealt with, you know what I'm saying, our situations a little bit different. Because the way I deal with a lot of my situations, I self isolate. I don't like having people by me at all, especially when I'm going through it. Because I mean, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Nobody actually cares. You can be at your lowest of the low, ain't nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? And even every time I would ever get advice, or somebody would try to be empathetic to my situation, that advice doesn't help me. It doesn't help me pull myself out of my situation. At the end of the day, that's only me. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, all I have is myself. So, a lot of people, I guess, tend to find, what's the word I want to look for? They go and seek. I don't want to say validation, but comfort in other individuals. And I feel like that's partial to the problem with a lot of individuals, because I feel like a lot of people are afraid to be alone with themselves. I feel like instead of dealing with problems, they'll run away from those problems. You know what I mean? I'm at a point in my life where I don't run from anything. And it took me a while, because at a time, I would sit in that dark space and hope that somebody would, you know what I'm saying, help me come out of there, especially the ones I love. And I feel like the ones that, supposed to be there for you, that's supposed to cherish you the most, they always go missing when you need them the most. So, I'm at a point in my life where it's like I don't need comfort from people. I will go to the movies, go out to eat by my lonesome. I'll go to a concert by my lonesome, go to the bar by my lonesome. Every activity I do now is by my lonely. If I don't have my daughter with me, I'm doing it solo. Period. You know what I mean? If you want to tag along, that's all for it. But you know what I mean? As far as like having company, I don't necessarily need that necessity anymore, because I feel like the ones that let you down the most is the ones that are supposed to be around the most. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
But I mean, everybody has their vices. Everybody goes about that situation and in their own accordance, or however it helps them get by. Do therapy? Like how you decompress, my brother?
Nowadays, the way I decompress, like I still have that that men's mental masculinity thing where you go and do outrageous and just outlandish shit.
You man's man. You gotta have your boys with you.
You go to the gym. Like I say, I'm an alcoholic in a sense, so I never stop not drinking. But I do it in closed settings. I do it in settings where, like I said, my brother, that's my best friend. Been my best friend for 10 years. Like, we've been drinking, been doing that shit for 10 years. And our setting is like, bro, we don't really want to be around everybody, bro. Like, we enjoy one's company. You know what I'm saying? You don't have that. You don't really have that with a lot of people where you enjoy their company. You're cool with being around them. You know, like especially being introverted. Like, bro, I get annoyed around being around people. I'm also a person who's not, mad affectionate in a sense, to where like my seek for comfort isn't like, oh, well, I want a hug, or, I want you to hold my hand, or I want to sit here in a room and talk to you. I gotta feel comfortable talking to you. I gotta feel like if I'm gonna talk to you, I can't talk to somebody who I feel like it's hurt me, because at that point it's like an apology. It's like you knew it was gonna hurt me, but you still did it. You still did it.
So, or do you not like confrontation, or do you not like having open
Confrontation.
conversation? I say
I
confrontation in a relative sense
Yeah,
because a lot of people take
yeah,
confrontation as always being a
like
negative.
physical.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
but me personally, I don't see confrontation in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Because confrontation, in its sense, in its pure essence, is to confront a situation. Not
Hmm.
necessarily does it have to be physical. Not necessarily does it have to be negative. Confrontation is just two opposing opinions coming together to have a conversation in itself.
Yeah,
So for me, I don't necessarily like the word confrontation in a negative sense because not all confrontation has to be negative. Sometimes confrontation is avoidable. So
so for like confrontation, so pretty much dealing with your situation head on.
mhm.
That's a big thing I would say about like the men's mental health, is having to deal with your situation head on. So for me, I know what my problems are. I know where my problems lay. I see them on a daily basis. They're right in front of me. My biggest thing before this whole situation was just the ideology of being perfect. Um, that's something that they don't teach in school systems. That's not something that, from parents you're taught that, parents are going to love you regardless of your mistakes, the things that you may do. And a lot of us, if going about it the right route, so I felt like in life I had gone about my stuff the right route. Um, I felt like I was doing all right, man. Like I was working. Every day for me is progression, bro. It's progression. It's progression to be better than the person I was yesterday. It's progression to be better than the person I was last year. It's progression to be better than the person that I was in that situation.
Right.
Confronting my problems head on, like, and this situation has gave me like an emotional disconnect, to where I'm willing to talk
Disconnect from
to
life or
people.
just disconnected from people?
This kind of more sense in a both,
Right. Okay.
disconnect from people in the sense that I call bullshit, bro. There's some people out here that are just kind of in your business just to be in your business. They're not here to help you. No one can help you. Only you
Some
can
people
help
are just
yourself.
here for seasons. Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
see, no, there's a lot of seasonal people
A
out here,
lot
a
of
lot of
seasonal
seasonal
people.
people.
How do you go about
But a lot of
differentiating those seasonal people though? That's the real question.
Like I said, I think we spoke about it on our last podcast. I don't have circles of people. I have decimals. So it's really to a T. It's people that I've known 10, 15 years who are not in that decimal just because they have fallen off. I learned being an adult compared to being a kid is that people will borrow stuff, ask for stuff, and still be there. Being an adult, people will borrow stuff, ask for stuff, and cut you all the way to off, smooth off.
Facts.
The people that are in my current decimal, like in my small collective, are all people that I feel like I can talk to. People that I've been around, people that I feel comfortable in a sense. Like saying being an introvert, bro, to go out and be around just random people, bro, being so uncomfortable with that because of who me in as like inside as a person. Um, I've been able to measure that down to probably like on my two hands, man. On my two hands. My decimal is that small. It's on
Right.
my two hands. And if we cut off, family like moms and stuff like that, it's on two hands. It's on two hands. Every relationship nowadays is a business relationship. It is from a
Transactional.
perspective of transactional. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we can both grow from the situation. We have something to benefit, and it kind of puts you in a point to where you're not just having conversation to have wasted conversation. Is that this conversation is what builds the business relationship aspect. So
Mm-hmm.
like to me at this current point, relationship wise, I'm mentally checked out. It's not something that I crave. It's something that like if it comes, it comes. Um, I can say prior to COVID, prior to my current or my past relationship, Um, I was younger, man. I was younger. You know, I was 23, 25, 26, whatever. And I was living my life. People were in and out of my life every day. It didn't bother me. It didn't bother me. And, you know, I kind of want to speak onto this situation is that as I started getting older, as I started having these thoughts, as I started having these issues, I started to see people close to me take their own lives, which is something that it's a sensitive subject, but it was like people that are close to me. You know, I've lost a lot of friends in the past couple weeks,
I know exactly how you feel.
past couple months,
Yo,
and it's taken a toll on me. I just lost a little brother like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Someone that you know I was there on a daily basis. I just seen last month, um, and you know, God rest his soul, bro. And it put me back into a position where I was hurt because I felt like dealing with such a topic. He told me like we hung out last month. This is something I would never tell to his family. I would never say his name. And before we went out, he said he was sitting in the car, drinking and depressed. And for me, I never understood like how can somebody that has you know all the money in the world, you kind of live freely. You like if I didn't have a daughter, and even he had a daughter, you know, which is you know a horrible thing to lose his life, is that how can you be at this point like you're about to go out and have a good time? How can you come out being depressed? But I had to really ask myself like, what was I on that night that I got into the accident?
yeah,
You know, how can I judge one and not judge myself?
that's
But you know,
facts. I feel like the people with the biggest mouths hide the strongest stories, man. And a lot of people don't
yeah,
check on the people that you know what I'm saying, or have that genuine sense in which they're always brightening up your day. Those are the ones that are usually hurting the most. Because I'm an introvert by nature. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I've already said, I self isolate. I don't care. It doesn't bother me one bit. I can be alone for the rest of my life, and I'll be straight. Um, but you know, even after my little situation where you know I had to I can
skate,
it was very
flow,
very 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 toxic for me, and you
mm-hmm,
can definitely for
relate,
people that don't know me, you know what I mean. 2 years ago, I got out of a situation with the mother of my child. You know what I mean, and to be honest, now that I'm looking back, to be honest, it was probably the best situation for me was for us to split because I mean I went from being completely unhealthy. I'm talking um, mentally unstable on a daily day basis. I went from you can always tell when I'm going through something for me personally because I kind of I I stopped caring about myself in the sense that you know my health deteriorates. I start to gain a lot of weight. I went from being 260 to now sitting at 165. I'm 8% body fat now. For me, um, that situation was beyond toxic to the point where it really took me having to step back. I had to go to therapy for a little bit because I struggled with a lot of situations that had occurred during that situation.
mm-hmm,
Um, to the point where I have journals, bro. My therapist made me start writing, and you know, I had a time where my decompression is I go for like little long walks. Uh, I'm a hopeless romantic at heart, so I kind of enjoy. I love me a sunset. I'm not
yeah,
afraid to admit it. I love me a sunset. Not really too big on sunrises, but sunsets. You know, grab me a cup of coffee, grab my journal, go sit back. You know, write a little bit of poetry. Jot out you know my mindset, where I'm at in life, where I want to go. Um, you know, just my innermost thoughts. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of men would um I don't want to call it a I don't want to call it a diary because I feel like that I feel like it kind of it
it
screams
is,
femininity. in a
Feminine, but it
sense.
is. It is.
In a sense, but I feel like it's very therapeutic, and I feel like a lot of people should try it out. You know what I mean? Because when I started at first, I was like, this is some bullshit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not finna sit here and write in this damn journal. You got me messed up. Now I'm like 3-4 books in. I'm talking 600-page thick journals. You know what I'm saying? This thick, playing no games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, man, that really helped me a lot along the way. And you know, obviously, I'm a gym rat, so you know, I go to the gym 6-7 days. I run 8K every day. I put my headphones in, zone out. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Your
really
decompression
zoned
a
in.
lot different than mine.
Yeah,
A
listen,
lot
and
different than
that's
mine.
that's
I mean, you
that's
like,
before we touch the
yeah,
weights. You know what I mean? That
yeah,
run is just before we turn the weights. I really die after I start lifting. But you know, that morning run, or that first, you know what I'm saying, run to really work out whatever my day has put on my shoulders, because once my workout's done, I don't even want to think about what happened throughout the day, whether
yeah,
negative or positive. I don't want anything after my workout, because at that point, this is my time. This is my decompression time. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
That's confident in here, bro. That's confident in here. You know, everybody got their different outlet, so that's a lot confident. Mine is so opposite compared to that, but I respect that in a sense, to be able to, sit there and write in your journal, sit there, or your diary, whatever you want to call it.
don't call it a
You still
diary.
you still masculine. You still masculine to me, my boy.
Hey, like that.
You still masculine
Wow.
to me, my boy. But like, that's the truth, is that
Yeah,
that's a way of decompressing.
it
My
is.
decompression is bruh, I'll say this: 95. And if you guys wouldn't know this, because I smile a lot of the times, and I mean, when we get into these videos, you'll be able to see ways and dealings of how people deal with stuff, or the things that are going on through people's mentals. But like my decompression is like, I'm a streamer. I like streaming. COVID turned me into a streamer. Beforehand, I wasn't really too serious about it. I really didn't care about it. It was like playing video games as a hobby. Now playing video games is like a job. Like, I have fun with it. I deal with depression, I deal with anxiety, I deal with a lot of things that are just, but when I'm playing the game, the focus is there. The focus is there. I'm able to, isolate, myself from the world. I have this Japanese divider from me that allows me to make my own room in a living room, and to just be able to go ahead and decompress. I play in a 7-on-7 tackle football. Like, I think that's a big thing that has helped me too, is sports. All my life, like this mental health thing didn't happen just last year. It didn't happen yesterday. It didn't happen 2 years ago. It didn't happen 5 years ago. For those that don't know, and people don't know, as a youth, I was diagnosed with bipolar depression. So,
Ooh, I just learned a fun fact.
and a lot of people don't know that, is that in the sense that, like, there's always two sides of me. It's not mood swings, bro. That's really who I am. Kind of created the persona of Marquise, who you're getting to meet now, and getting to meet Mac. Mac is this cool dude everybody loves. Mac is an extrovert. Marquise is an introvert. Marquise is the one that likes to be by himself. Like he said, go to the movies by himself. I will play team sports, and I have that switch over where I go from being, really a good person in the sense, to being Matt, to where I'm just a fucking savage. I'm a fucking brute. Um, Contact sports, anything that's volatile, masculine, lifting weights, um, being a dog, bro, in a sense, even just being a dog out there, being a dog in life, is my way of decompressing. Um, it's crazy. And then people will never know that. This is the first time that I've even disclosed that to anybody, like my actual diagnosis of what it is. And
How you feel
that's
about
for
that? Let's unpack that. How you feel on that?
for me. I think people understand, like, because people always sit here and say, oh, well, people assume that when I'm drinking, I'm turned up, that, oh yeah, Mac, but like, nobody knows who Marquise is. Like, unless you went to school with me, and even if you went to school with me, you probably don't know me like that, because I lived a real sheltered life, a real closed life. A lot of people weren't. didn't know what was going on at home. Like I said, my mom was diagnosed with lupus my sophomore year of high school, freshman year of high school. My brother moved to Alaska. I've taken care of my mom for the past, maybe 13, 14 years. And that's a lot of weight on somebody's shoulder in a single parent household, to where like people, and I say this too, and I express this to, is that like having your parents around, if you're lucky to have your parents around, you guys should really, really, really appreciate that, because when you lose your parents, man, like I said, if I lose my mom, that's like my best friend. I know the moment that I lose my mother, I will go back into this state of destruction. But allowing myself to go ahead and kind of vent, it allows me to get it out before it happens, before it occurs. Because that's the thing I deal with on the mental. Is like, oh, the passing of my mom, the disappointment of everybody else, more or less, is kind of like, fuck them. I really don't care.
Right. Always secondary.
Yeah, it's like I don't care if I disappoint you, because at the end of the day, you don't have to walk in my shoes. I have to walk in your shoes.
I feel like a lot of people don't understand that either, though. Like, as you get older, that because like growing up, it was kind of like, I love my parents, but you know what I'm saying, it's not as deep as a lot of people make it out to be. But as you get older, like you really get to sit back and be like, damn, like, if I lose you, I don't think I'm gonna be able to survive that. And then B, it's like you really get to sit in their guidance that you necessarily didn't get to take a hold of as you were growing. And for the younger audience that is watching this, you know what I mean? Like, when your parents give you guidance, actually sit back and listen. Like, don't just shut it out. Don't just take it as, you know what I'm saying, hearsay. Like, actually listen, genuinely listen to what they're speaking, because it's life, it's experience, and you know what I'm saying, it's unconditional, and a lot of people don't understand what unconditional love actually means. It feels like, you know what I mean? It's definitely a different embrace.
Yeah, and all that has an expiration date.
It sure
Like
do.
life in
In
general has an
general,
expiration date.
facts, it does.
Nothing is forever. As much as they make you believe, like love is forever. Love is forever, bro. Your parents are here one day, gone the next. So don't take advantage of. That's an outlet, bro. Your parents is an outlet. My parent is an outlet. My daughter is an outlet. Being where I'm at this point in life, like I'm around my daughter 98% of the time. I put myself back in a toxic situation, not in the sense like we're being together, but to be around someone who gives me high blood pressure. I'm 28 years old. I went to the doctor the other day. My blood pressure was 144 over 90. 28 years old.
See, you
I work
you
out.
better than me. I'm at a point in my life where I refuse to sacrifice my peace. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. You can be the mother of my daughter. I'm done sacrificing my peace.
I'm getting there.
We gotta find a middle ground, and let's be cordial. But as far as sacrificing my peace, that one's for the birds. I don't care.
Middle ground going to me in jail, bro. And that's what happens with it. That's just being like, that's what happens with a lot of people's situation. I gotta talk that I have to have later on. That it's just when it happens, it happens. For me, like my peace of mind is everything. I will tell people that
Facts. People
peace
don't
of mind
understand
is
that. It's
everything.
fucking everything.
I will drop $100,000 cash right now for my peace of mind. I will drop having the baddest baddie in the world for peace of mind. Like
I'll
people put
triple it.
themselves in situations to stress out. Like,
Double
and
up.
I tell that people, being a male is like, all right, people want these nines and these tens. These nines and these tens are gonna be a headache, bro. They're gonna be a headache. They look good on the outside because a lot of these people that are beautiful on the outside are ugly internally. And that's me. That's how I feel as a person. It's like, bro, like from the outside, okay, he looks good, he looks well, and that's what men's mental health is. A lot of us look well on the outside. You don't see the inside.
You
You're
don't.
dying in the inside,
And
bro.
we're
Like
never going to be vulnerable, especially in this day and age. I feel like that's a topic in itself, especially
cuts
in this day and age. People want you to be
cuts off
vulnerable,
everything.
but
Yeah.
don't understand the gravity of the weight that holds. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I'm an open book. I'm an open concept. I'm not going to keep anything from you. You ask, I'm an answer because I want that in return. If I ask you a question, don't lie to me. Just tell me the truth. I don't care how much it hurt. It is what it is. That's kind of the price of doing business. I'm not going to ask if I'm not
Wow.
willing to deal with the repercussions. Um,
Well, and I feel like that too. People are afraid of people want the truth, but they're people just they're not willing to give you the truth, brother man.
at
Like
all.
that's what upsets me is that people want the truth. When people get the authentic person that who I am, and that goes for conversation. Like me and you had a conversation the other day, and I had to like take a break to be like, don't be upset, bro, because what he means well, but to the same extent, like that's where my switching upside goes from Marquise to Mac, to where like Mac's not going for no bullshit. Mac's not taking nothing, and that's relationships. That's in person, and you're speaking about confrontation in a negative sense. I'm very confrontational in a negative sense, bro. Like you gotta understand, like I deal with drunk people. I used to deal with drunk people on a daily basis. I work at a mental hospital where I deal with people that are not in the right mind, and it sucks because I'm in the same. It sucks to be a patient around patients. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel that.
And
I can
that's
understand
pretty much what it is. I'm just a patient that's not checked in because technically I'm checked out, bro. To live, I say this, and this goes with the whole suicide topic in a sense too, about men's mental health. Is like if you guys need someone to talk to, sometimes that is not what you need. But
that.
do
Yeah.
not put yourself in a situation where you bottle up things so much that, like, for me, I've had days where I've been going to work and I've cried in the car the whole ride to get to work, wipe those tears away, and I'm smiling, I'm joking, I'm laughing. I've done that going to the club on nighttime at 9 o'clock at night, so where I'm just crying in the car and I'm decompressing.
Mm.
The whole idea that men can't cry or men can't be like we try to differentiate from that from other things because you have to think 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, a lot of this awareness stuff that people have nowadays, it and which I feel like has overshadowed like men's mental health, is that because you're not able to be feminine, LGBTQ stuff like that have they've helped in a sense to be able to be yourself, which I like. I'm full support of that, is to be yourself. But like as a man, um it's tough, bro. Decompression is a big thing. Decompression, talking, put yourself around the right people. Matter of fact, there's a video that I watch. If I can find it right now.
Mm.
I don't know how familiar you guys are with the basketball player Michael Beasley. Um, he has a, if I can pull it up, he has a video where he pretty much says, um, he's been trying so long to find himself to be around good people, and
Mm.
he's tired.
I know exactly what
He's
video you're
tired.
talking, and I
Yeah,
relate to that on that on a heavy note. So it is hard to find genuine people with genuine intentions. You know what I mean? Because I don't necessarily share a lot, but if I take the
mhm,
time to actually share something, that means something. That means something. But at the same time, one of my biggest quotes that I live by, and to be honest, it's something that kind of helped me through a lot of the turmoil as like I went through my little journey, especially after my last slow breakup, was find comfort in uncomfortable conversations. You know what I mean? I
mhm,
feel like a lot of people tend to be timid when it's a very, very uncomfortable conversation because they're afraid of somebody's reaction.
mhm,
I don't give a damn about people's reactions. I don't care about your feelings. I'm gonna speak my mind indefinitely. You know what I mean? And if I'm wrong in a sense, then you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna speak on that topic, but at the same time, I'm gonna get what I need to get out because I feel like you said, I feel like a lot of people bottle up things until
mhm.
you get to the point where you implode, and then you're looked at as the bad guy because you had so much that was put in and pushed to the brink that it just comes out as an explosion, and it should never ever get to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's see if I can pull up that video real fast.
I've been trying to find good.
Let's see. Go ahead and put that one on the stream real quick. Boom boom.
Well,
Alright, let me see if I can go ahead and push this video through real fast.
a little choppy, but like to even go into on that. So, um,
Hold on one
one of the
second. I'm gonna go ahead and
ways,
play this
like
video for the for the
like
for the
smoke,
for the
but
audience real fast.
yeah,
I've been trying to find good people for so long.
They can hear that.
I'm tired, bro.
I would say this. It's a 100%, bro. It's so okay to be tired, though.
I got, you know what I'm saying?
You ain't got nothing left. You ain't got nothing left to give.
I'll tell you this, bro. I'll be it. Like, whatever you need, dog. Like, you just want to talk. Like, I for sure can't hoop with you. I'll go out there and pass that hoe. Like, what we're saying is, bro, like, we want to be those people. Bringing you here wasn't about this. I wanted to talk basketball and hoops. But, dog, folks love you, dog. Nobody want to see you go through this.
I got me a Beasley jersey out the motherfucking house. Because I was down here when he got drafted.
I think the thing is, man, like so many times as black men, we are asked because of talent to carry everybody. We are not made to carry everybody. Black women are asked to carry everybody. They are not made to carry everybody. Dog, it takes a fucking village, bro. And at some point, you gotta have somebody who don't need shit from you, who don't want shit from you, who want to see you win, man. Like we don't do this for us. Yeah, like you want to build these things, but it's about these conversations. It's about bringing people on here and letting them tell their story. When Freddie said, man, you could tell your narrative, tell that shit and I'll preach it too. What we saying is, man, don't give up, and we won't give up.
Yeah, see, I felt that. I would watch that a million times, and that's genuinely how I feel, in the sense that it's like, man, people want you to reach out. People want you to like, hey, man, I hate when people say, well, if you need anything, let me know. Check on me, bro. Check on me. I think that's a big thing, is that people kind of don't check on you, and it's not their fault, bro. It's not their responsibility to check on you. But that's an idea. That's a perfect way of going through things like things are okay, and internally taking the beating of him being a man, him being this tall guy with tattoos, him being this guy with all the money in the world, can have whatever girl he wants, can have whatever. A lot of that stuff is materialistic, bro. It's materialistic. It's horrible to say that you can call a human being materialistic, but it's materialistic. These things it's like comfort food, bro. It's like going to go have a nice meal. It's comfort food. It's not a decompression. It's a temporary fix for a forever problem. Forever problem.
See,
I learned
built a little bit different though. I'm one of those people. I don't necessarily like phone calls or a text message. Don't check up on me in that way. If you really care
physical
about me in a
form.
sense, yeah, show
The physical
up.
form.
You know what I'm saying?
The physical form. Yeah.
Talk is cheap for me. You know what I mean? Show up.
Yeah. Exactly.
Drop off at the house. Hey, yo, I'm outside in 20. Say less.
Exactly.
I don't care. We go to the park. Say less. Drop by. Let's have a conversation. It don't even have to be long, but we can have a nice little 20 minutes. You can skate. I ain't tripping. Show up.
I'll tell you this. I learned the first time, like besides my brother, the first time I ever got to really decompress in a physical form, which one of our guests, hopefully I really wanted him to be a part of the conversation, was my friend Max, who originally he was a competitor on the field. Like when we were playing football, couldn't stand each other, hated each other because we were rivals, opposite team, both captains, both leaders.
That's the best relationship. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know, right? But captains, leaders in their own sense, on and off the field. He got a big taste of Mac, pause. He got to, understand that, like, that sounded crazy. But he got to see that pretty much, like, he got to see the masculine dude. When I would go out there, play on the field, I was very, I didn't care, bro. I didn't care. I was this monster. I'm so used to that. I'm so used to, when I go out on the field, I'm this monster. I'm this untouchable person. The competitive nature is what you got from me. And then this year we were able to finally reconcile and be a part of the same team. And we were taking these 2-hour drives, so pretty much spending 5-6 hours out of a day in order to sit in a vehicle. And this is uncomfortable for me because I don't like new people, but to the same extent to really sit there and vent about the things that we go through, and to get to know somebody who was an enemy, a foe, and now you're a friend. is really good because I was able to decompress. And this is somebody, who's younger than me too. I'm 28. He's 25, 24, and I really wish I had like a big brother in a sense for someone to be able to tell you like, to talk to you through these things. And I appreciate him in a sense because, we're able to, the people that didn't hang out with each other, like he's became a close friend. When I say in that decimal, he's in that decimal. He's someone I went to a hockey game with. He's inviting me out plenty of times because he knows like I'm in the house all the time. I'm always by myself. But I can be the life of the party, and go out for a couple drinks, stuff like that. Those are ways of decompressing. Another way of decompressing I just wanted to speak shortly about was self-infliction in a positive nature. So I'm not when you're young, we as kids, we heard about the emo phase and stuff like that. And I can say to be insensitive to something that's sensitive, to say like, bro, that's goofy. You want to cut yourself, you want to kill yourself, but it's a fashion trend. It's a genre of hip hop. I listen to emo rap nowadays, and with self-infliction, I do. I'm a person that, and people don't know that. I'm a person that.
Send me something of that. That one's different. I've never heard of emo rap.
So emo rap, you kind of do listen to it on a lot of these rappers that do all these perks and stuff like that.
So we talking like Juice WRLD. We talking about.
I don't listen to that. I did listen to him after his passing. I'm not really I don't really like these. I'm more of
You sleep. They built different. A lot of people don't understand. They're genuine artists too.
Well, because they're so young, bro. In a sense, because I'm like I said, I'm negative in a sense, or where like you're young. What are you really like so sad about? You got any tattoos and stuff like that. But now
but a number, you know what I mean. Everybody goes
it's true. It's mature.
Their own journey differently, and a lot of people. I feel like you should never downgrade somebody
or judge somebody.
On where they stand in the world because of their age. 'Cause to be honest, I feel like I went through the most trauma when I was younger.
When you was young, and your parents always tell you it's not that bad, and that's why I say
horrible. To be honest,
but that's because they don't prepare for that.
I get that, you know what I mean? How I get past that. So
but I did that as an adult. Like as an adult, I did the self-infliction. Where it was like, okay, I started to go get tattoos. Like I say this, all my tattoos tell a story. I like going to go get piercings. I've always been someone who's been like, when I go through stuff, I like pain in a sense to where like I'm not like, oh, let's go hop on a roller coaster. I need a thrill. Now like pain, bro. Like my tattoos tell a story. My tattoos are all times in my life that I felt the most pain or endured the most pain. I got a tattoo of a yin and yang on my arm that says, "Time they say will heal all your wounds." And it's not just a tattoo; it's a story and a message in itself. It's a time where the ideology in my head was to drive 100 miles per hour on incoming traffic. You know what I'm saying? And instead of doing that, I went to a tattoo artist and went to go get a tattoo, bro, because it's a self-infliction. Going to go get piercings is like so soothing for me because it's a temporary pain for something that you can look at on a daily basis. It's not a fashion sense for me. It's my identity in a sense. But and I kind of understand that a lot nowadays. Like I'm a big person and like I love tattoos. I love asking people why you got this, what does this stand for? Because a lot of us wear our story on our skin.
We do.
If you really don't know what's going on with somebody internally, just look at the things around them. We wear our story on our skin. But as far as like emo rap, it's an artist named Kalen Raps. He does like pretty much, which is something I want to branch off into is kind of getting back into music, but not music on like a professional standpoint where I want to be a big rapper or anything like that. For those of you that don't know, when I was younger, I did do music. When I was in high school, I did do music. It wasn't the greatest.
I'm gonna have to go find those. I gotta hear that one.
We'll leave that in the archive.
Oh, we gotta find that. People got to know. People got to know.
But like, I used to do music. Music was a good way to kind of decompress.
Yeah.
Because it was something that like on a daily basis, you got so many rhymes going up your head, so many things that you can say, that you can, it's subliminals. There's a lot of subliminals in hip hop. People be going through things through subliminals. If you actually listen to the lyrics and the context of things, you can, really go through that. I listen to Pootieville. I don't know if many of you have heard of him. Pootieville to me is kind of like how Mac is in a sense, to where like when you get pressed to that point where all your, you want to be this good person, and then you just be like, you know what, I need to call people on their bullshit. I need to call people on their bullshit. I need to let people know that, the things that are going on through my head.
You ever seen that guy that when he shows up in public, he looks like he...
of who I can be now. This is a great video here too.
No, you can still talk. You still good.
Yeah,
still good. I'm just booting.
But those are decompressing. It goes from the music that you listen to, bro. Because like nowadays, all that booty shaking music and all that turned up lit Percocet, bling. Like we grew up in a generation where like I ain't gonna hold you. In high school, I was a big lean head. People didn't know that either. I mean, the people that were around me, obviously.
I think we all went through that phase.
We wanted to be Pimp C, the Texas scene, and Lil Wayne and stuff like that. Influences
Jolly Ranchers in the motherfucking
Jolly Ranchers, Dirty Sprite, Pro Methyl Grape, Pro Methyl Cherry. I used to take my mom's cough medicine. I used to do stupid stuff, and I would get to school and kids would be bringing Malibu from out their parents' things. And
I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, and I feel like that was more for the girls. They had water bottles full of vodka, yo.
My junior year, bro, high school, I was a big lean head at home. It was the way that I slept. It was the way that I coped with injuries. It was a big thing about me. And God forbid, I never had seizures. I never had health implications. And that was our coping. Like I didn't smoke weed. I didn't smoke weed. So I had one incident my sophomore year of high school, and then after that, I really didn't smoke weed. Weed wasn't for me, and alcohol hadn't really, alcohol didn't hit me till my senior year of high school, and that was the end of high school. So it's just, everybody has their coping, ways of coping, but every generation does different things. Like there's just different things, and it's going to continue to where, if we don't talk about it, we don't make it a more easier environment in order to speak about these things, the problem's just going to get worse. I mean, you got kids doing bath salt, Tide Pods, they do weird stuff. Like they just do weird stuff, and I don't know if that's based off of depression or just stupidity, but to sit there and speak and just to say that,
I think it's more of trendy. It's about views. It doesn't even. I feel like a lot of situations, a lot of bad things that's happening. It don't even have to do with like the social aspect. It just has to do with being
boredom,
trendy. You know what I'm saying? They want to make a name for themselves and go about it in the wrong sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Views, comments.
But I feel like that's the stigma nowadays, though. It's let's do anything for a view. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what validates you nowadays. I'm not gonna say that's what validates you. That's what the idea of validation is what gets views, what gets, we're speaking about this. What gets you views, and what makes it worth, feeling like people see you in a sense.
Right. It's never about substance. It's all about quantity at this point. So quantity. My fault.
Yeah. But no, most definitely, it's something that they don't teach you in school, bro. Like that's why I say like those
teach that in school though. When you really think about
those they teach you to be a good person, and just a bunch of useless information that as adults, it's tough because like after 18 years of being taught what I'm supposed to be taught, and then going into the real world and realizing that that's not how that works. Friendships nowadays and partnerships decide who succeeds in life nowadays.
Yeah.
Compared to where, being your own person, and, you go from elementary to middle school, you're able to be a new person. Middle school to high school, you're able to be a new person. It doesn't really hit until you're an adult that you can be the person that it is that you could have been all those years. You can be the cool person. You can be like you can be whoever it is that you want to be. Turning 18 is probably one of the best things that can happen to you, because reality hits and reality really sets in on who is it that I want to be for the rest of my life. Like after 30 years old, after 30 or 40, I believe like that's who you should be for the rest of your life. You should already have, an affirmation as far as like this is what I want to be for the rest of my life. I'm 28 years old. I have 2 more years to really sit and decide. Like I like to put little plans together on who it is that I want to be mentally for the rest of my life. Am I going to be this happy person? Am I going to be this person that I go and lift weights in order to deal with things? Do I still want to play tackle football in the next 2 or 3 years? Your body breaks up. That's a depressing thing too. Injuries mentally and injuries physically can really put you on the bad path as far as being happy, having that peace of mind. Peace of mind is everything. I believe, like you said, the relationship, you're a hopeless romantic. I rather, now that I'm in the point that I am now, like sex isn't even an option. Sex doesn't really matter to me.
Hold up. Sexual doesn't have to be hopeless romantic. I like.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, like I said, I'm not affectionate in the sense to where like I used to think that, oh, that's what I need. Even like like Kevin Gates, and whether we get into that video or not,
Okay.
Or I just want to talk about him, and in a sense, is because like the dude may seem like he doesn't have it all there, but he's been a big person as far as from an artist aspect of kind of taking into what he thinks and kind of bringing it to my life in a sense, because he's a person who every time you see him in the news or something like that, it's negative. It's negative. It's negative. It's negative. Or he's saying something outlandish or whatever, but to a point, like I sat here and listened to some of his spiritual quotes, inspirational quotes, and how he talks about, just pretty much you can't put a price on peace of mind. Peace of mind is everything when your mind is what's the problem.
But I don't think what he says outlandish though. It's just because it goes against disagreeing thoughts.
The normal. It goes against the normal.
A lot of people don't like to have
talk about that.
Yeah,
normal.
And be brutally honest about it. You know what I mean? And be unapologetic when they talk on those subjects.
Well, I think it's a media's perception. It's kind of like school. Like I'm a person that like I was religious, very religious growing up. Not even very religious. Kind of like, oh, God this, God that, God this, and then I woke up one day and was just like, who am I really talking to? And that's not to knock nobody that's religious, that gives, whatever. I have a higher being, but my higher being is energy. I'm spiritual, very spiritual.
So we believe in the universe.
I believe in energy. Yeah,
okay.
There's something that's around it, and and that goes back with tattoos. When I was 18 years old, my first tattoo I got was a cross. Luckily, it's a Celtic cross, so it's not even a religious cross per se. And then when I became, to being an adult, I got a tattoo of, the IRL on my hand. I have an ink on my hand, and I've actually did the research, and the ink is pretty much it's life in itself. It's pretty much like a uterus, and it puts you in a different perspective. It's like everything is energy, bro. It's a lot of stuff that's unexplained. It's a lot of stuff that it gave me validation and comfort in being able to believe in something that it's fine with there not being a scientific explanation of things, but it puts me at ease because, like I said, religion.
That's what faith is. At the end of the day, it's just giving you something to believe in. That
it's just not programmed.
Right. It's an explanation to how certain occurrences happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I'm not into like program beliefs. I believe that's what caused a lot of mental things for me too. Is that like when I got into my like anytime I would get whoopings as a kid, I was like, God help me. And I was like, bro, you bugging, bro. God ain't about to help you from getting this butt whooping from your mama or your daddy. But from and I say this too. It goes with channeling your demons. I'm a big demon channeler. I'm a big person where like I believe I've seen my demons more than I've ever seen an angel or anything of good faith. And with that, I believe because it makes people uncomfortable when you talk about that. But I feel like people that deal with mental health, that is a topic that we talk about all the time, is battling our demons. battling the negative, the things that we feel to be negative, but people, because they keep themselves at a programmed perspective of spirituality, or programmed, perspective of religion, they don't really open your mind. Opening your mind can be, one of the biggest things that I find to be comforting. To be open to sit there and listen to ideas, or to open and listen to your dreams, or open and listen to your thoughts. Because I've had dark thoughts, bro. I've been in very, very dark places. I've had encounters with my demons in dreams. I've had encounters with my demons just sitting here with a bottle of Hennessy. Um, those thoughts that you start having, they start perpetuating into your everyday way of living.
Have you ever
If
found
you
a
allow it
healthy
to.
way of dealing with those issues, or are we still, you know what I'm saying?
We still same thing, working out. It's because of my current situation. Like I say, like right now, I'm in a rebuild. I'm at a rebuild point of my life. Someone has, I won't say someone, I won't just put the blame on one person, but I will say life itself has broken me to a point where I'm in a rebuild point of life, and that's the toughest thing to do right now. Battling my mental health right now and dealing with a rebuild of life, to where I felt like I had it all. I felt like I was in a great my life, happy, doing whatever I wanted to do. Nothing was stressful and stuff like that. To that situation where now everything is stressful in a sense, everything upsets, everything bothers me. The only positivity, and I'm not a like everyday drinker, bro. It's I'm able to mentally check out and be like, bro, you don't need to go drink. Go stream, or streaming is a good thing for me. But COVID has been a big, big, big reason behind the deterioration of mental health. It's been a big for everybody across the board. Those 2 years, bro, felt for like forever, even though it's came and went. But I think, as humans, we weren't to be stuck in the house the whole time. As humans, we weren't to
Speak
be.
for yourself. I wasn't stuck in the house. I was an essential worker.
You were.
Hey,
I was
listen,
too. I was too.
listen,
I was
my
too.
boy.
But I was an essential worker from home. So you're still stuck in the home. You're not able to go ahead and go get a breath of fresh air. You got to think, here in California, they closed off parks. They closed off hiking trails. We have, and I live in San Diego, bro. I live in one of the probably the top 5 most beautiful places in all of the United States. And for you not to be able to enjoy that, to be told that like you can't go do, bro, it drove people crazy. It drove people madness. It put people in relationships they had no business to be in relationships with. And I sit there and say that. Wholeheartedly.
My take on that one was totally opposite. To be honest, COVID really like it screwed me more than I could ever actually sit back and cope with. Because again,
You gain weight. You wouldn't look at the negatives. I get, like, for me, I was 200 pounds pre-COVID. After COVID, I was 250. Since the passing. Yeah, see, and see, since the passing of that, I'm sitting at 230, 235. It goes up, it fluctuates. Like I said, all based upon stress, based upon this. But I've looked at, the body changes and the things that I went through. I went from being a very skinny kid to a very big, big kid, to where like now I'm body comfortable. I might not get it in every day. I'm not you, Mr. 6-7 times a day a week, knock your cardio or whatever. But when I do get it in, I do get it in. It does, what is it, release them endorphins or pheromones, whatever the word is. It does do that for you. But like I said, COVID put me in a situation I wasn't supposed to be in, bro.
I can relate, because again, I was working like 24 hours, 6 days a week. Like literally. Yeah, mine was crazy, and I was salary, so I wasn't making extra dough going in. To be honest, I feel like the stress ate me, and then coming home to
that stuff you have to deal with.
And let me tell you, that environment in itself probably is really what drove me crazy. It's like nobody should be out working 24 hours and then come home to more stress.
To BS, which is what I deal with essentially now, bro. And to dig in on that is just like, bro, people need comfort, man. People need comfort. People find comfort in whatever they find comfort in. People find decompression in what they find decompression from, and that's what's put me at the point to where I'm at now, to where like reaching out to people that, you know, I felt prior to COVID, put me in a real good, you know, light. Reaching to people even now, you know, support is support, bro. Support is support. You find comfort from experience. That wasn't a great time. Right now, it's not a great time in a sense, and that's just being honest and being wholehearted and not faking the funk. I don't like faking the funk for nobody. I like to keep it authentic, be real, bro. My expectation, like I said, being with a different girl. I've been, you know, faithful in a very strong sense, and I'm not in a relationship, but I mean faithful to myself, which people have never heard of. You never heard of someone being faithful to himself, being real to himself, bro. You know, being spiritual. I'm not willing to just go ahead and give my energy to everybody, bro. I've seen what my energy looks like clouded and being around upon one person and what it can do, and now I'm in a point where like I just want to get everything from the ground up, get my own situation, and decide if I want to go ahead and project that in a positive manner.
I mean,
And
you should
that,
project it regardless. You know,
regardless,
what I
but
mean? Don't
you know,
don't
but you
allow
try to,
anybody
yeah,
to hinder
it's
you.
self, yeah, it's self sabotation. Sabotage, is that sabotage? However you
Self sabotage.
sabotage, yeah, however you say the
Yeah.
word. That's what it is that, you know, you try to adhere to make
Mm-hmm.
someone who I felt like is so uncomfortable with himself, so not real with himself,
That
so
it makes you
just
come out your element to appease
exactly,
them.
and
And yes,
exactly.
yes.
And
And
then
I
when
feel
you
like a lot of
appease
people don't
yourself,
talk on that shit. Is that
yeah,
a
and then when
lot of
you appease yourself, yeah, go ahead, my
yeah.
bad, go ahead, yeah,
That shit is
digging,
very toxic, very toxic. Because I got, you know, with my baby mama, very very toxic family, very very toxic family, and
hmm
to make her life easier, I would deal with those situations, knowing they were
hmm
unhealthy for me. I'm talking like degrading me as an individual. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Talking down upon my name and just out of respect for her. You know what I'm saying? Not approaching those situations in how I would have, you know what I'm saying, approached it. Because you know what I'm saying? I'm very no nonsense. I'm not just going to let you talk down on my name. But,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Living in that type of environment where it's like, just to save face, you're going to basically degrade yourself to be more digestible for others around you, and I'm through
yeah.
with that life. I will never be less of myself to be more digestible for you. I am who I am, and who I'm not, I will never be, period.
So I ask you this.
Mm,
I ask you this. So, Mr. Hopeless Romantic, or you know,
talk to
someone
me.
that you know, someone that, you know, you just listening to you, you know, you went so headstrong and you put yourself in a position like that. Would you be willing to, or how are you so willing, or you know, you let me know, are able to put yourself in a position like that again, give somebody else another chance, because you know,
Oh, I don't believe
dealing
in
with
second
what you,
chances.
no. I'm not talking about second chances with that
Yeah,
person.
right.
I'm talking about
In
to open
general,
your heart for
right.
somebody else to have the opportunity. Because you know they say they're like, oh well, never, because it's how someone else treated you, go into another situation. And I say that with females a lot of time, because I feel like females are saying, oh, every dude's a dirt bag, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But to the extent for men is like, I don't think it's the same thing. It's no double standard in it. I don't say that like, okay, if one girl saw my situation, my BM is just not for me at all, in a sense. It's broken me to where I'm at. Why allow the next person to go ahead and do that? No, you have to do the research. No, you have to do the work. I'm so emotionally detached right now at the point that I can go ahead and smash somebody right now, and it's not going to make me happy, because
Right.
it's being with someone who is, like I said, sex is an energy thing, bro. It's an
Mm-hmm.
energy thing. It's just, you know, you're giving your demons to someone else. Their demons are upon you. That negative energy. If that person feels that they're a fat fucking slob, and they think so negative about themselves and life is just horrible, bro, and you sleep with that person, you're gonna extract that energy for yourself.
Right,
So for
because they're
like,
projecting.
they're projecting. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, you know, if you go watch Insidious and movies like that, that energy is real, bro. You do give off that type of energy to other people. And like for me is that, you know, the idea is just like the idea of cheating, bro. Like for me, I don't cheat. It takes too much time, takes too much effort. Now, will I go and talk to somebody to give me a verbal confirmation of who the fuck I am, because they believe in me a lot more than the people that are around me believe in me? Yes, verbal confirmation, because people have seen me grow. There's people that be there, be around me and stuff like that. and then I look at my situation and I'm always asking myself, I'm like, do I really deserve the situation I put myself into? Do I really? And I think as men, we ask ourselves that all the time. Like, do we struggle to not be loved wholeheartedly internally and by the basis of what we believe love is to be? You know, for me, love prior to and it still love is, it's kind of like, it's because a relationship is a business, bro. It is a business. It is, you know, letting down your walls and letting down your barriers in order for somebody to come into a situation and together to build new walls, build new barriers, and to pretty much let what's inside out. So for me, oh, go ahead.
Let me go ahead and unpack that for you. I'm gonna start with what you just said right there. It's not necessarily bringing walls or barriers. It's more like boundaries. I don't feel like in any platonic or romantic situation should there be walls or barriers, just boundaries. You know what I mean? And to answer your question about how am I so forgiving, is because I mean it's really simple in the sense that again I refuse to be less of myself because of a situation that's happened to me in the past. Understand, I don't believe in forgive and forget. I believe in forgive, but it will never be forgotten. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I truly believe there's lessons, not losses. You know what I mean? If you go through life looking at losses as, hey, I these are all of my flaws. You know what I mean? You will never actually see the lesson in whatever it is that you were supposed to learn in that situation. I'm at a point where, you know, like I said, I self isolate. That's kind of how I deal with everything. You know what I mean? I'll shut the whole world out. I mean, completely. You would think I've died because I won't reach out. I won't post anything. I won't do anything for like months at ends. And it's just how I deal with my ongoing things, because I don't like to give the worst of myself to individuals. I rather let you see when I'm shining. You know what I mean? So I will deal with, which goes back to our last episode when I said your baggage is a you thing, not a everybody else thing. You know what I mean? I don't need anybody's validation on my flaws or my baggage. Just me to accept that and then right my wrongs. So I don't hold anybody accountable for my mistakes or somebody else's mistakes. They were mistakes in a general sense, so I had to learn those lessons. I'm not going to hold the next female accountable because the last
or what someone else did
was on some iffy stuff. I'm gonna give you your due diligence, but understand, I'm earned. I'm not given. You know what I mean? That's just how I am. You know what I mean? So if you think you're just going to be given just because you feel like you're worthy of it, you're wrong. You know what I mean? It's give and give. You know what I'm saying? You and I'm not even looking for you to give me 100%. You can give me 50. I like effort. The moment I see effort is the moment that we can actually start to build on something. You know what I mean? For me, everything is brick by brick. I don't expect you to come 100% off the bat, but when I ask you to lay a brick, you lay that brick. And if you're not for it, I understand. Let me take my 2 steps. Let you reevaluate whether or not this relationship is worth, you know what I'm saying, putting in that effort. Because I'm not a supporter of
letting your baggage come with you in a new situation.
Just because this is transactional does not mean it's one-sided.
Yeah, so I feel like you're a bigger person than I. Definitely. This situation is like, and that's why I say it's changed me in a sense, like, you know, I won't dig deep into it. We'll just subliminally talk about it. Let it be, you know, warm for what it is that, you know, self-sabotage. So for me as a person, like, I'm in a relationship, bro, I'm not looking to cheat. It's not me, bro. It's not me. Outside of your relationship, because you gotta think that's a little boy thing, bro. And I'll sit there and tell you that cheating is a little boy thing. Going outside of your situation is a little boy thing. And little girl thing too, bro, is because you literally put yourself in a situation where you have what you want from everybody else. You can have it every day. Sex every day, hug every day, love every day, a
If
conversation
you
every
get that though, if you get
if
that,
you if you get that,
if you get
if they reciprocate what you put out, you can have that every day.
right,
So like for me to be in a space where it's like, bro, like I don't go nowhere, man. I don't go nowhere, and it bothers you because I will put my attention on myself and I'll be in the same home as you, and that bothers you to the point where you feel like everything's a get even situation, or you feel like it's a situation where like you're assuming I'm doing something, bro. In the physical matter, if I cannot do it and something hurts you in a verbal whatever, I feel like the problem is with you, and the problem is with you. And as men, that's what strong men deal with. I'm a strong man in the sense, like, bro, I never cheated in my situation. As much as I had the option, the choices, and I was able to go ahead and do that. What broke me was just being bothered by somebody who was just there to be bothering. You weren't there to be comforting. You weren't there to fix the situation. You didn't do nothing different than I couldn't do for myself with or without you. And when I bring that into another situation, like I said, the barricades that I was telling you about letting down, I built that shit back up, bro. I don't care how pretty you are. I don't care what you look like. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care about what you feel that you need to have, whatever. Those expectations go out the door. Mental health, I am the prize. I've been the prize. I was the prize before then. I'm the prize now. But for the next person that decides that they want to, fuck with me, unless I know them on a personal basis, understand I'm not the same, bro. I got to build myself back up. I have nothing. I'm going to have something within the next year or so,
right,
something to build off, something, because I'm driven, bro. I had to really wake up and realize, like, who was I the person before the situation? Who am I after the situation?
right.
The person who I was before the situation was so much a better person internally than the fact that, like, I didn't care about nobody, bro. Like, I really didn't care about people's feelings and stuff like that. Not to be an asshole in the sense, but because you have to be the strongest person that you can be for yourself before you can be the strongest person that you can be for others.
Right,
You cannot
right.
love somebody without loving yourself first. And the moment you stop loving yourself, love is out the door. You can't
It
be in a
is.
relationship if you don't love yourself. If you're mentally going through things on a daily basis and that person isn't helping or fixing to the situation, bro, you're truly broken in the sense that receive that and give that out to someone else.
So
And
you
that's
big
why I
on
feel like
reciprocation.
reciprocation is everything, bro. If to sit here and have me listen to you, and you want to talk but I don't want to talk, bro, is me shutting you out, bro. Is me not feeling comfortable in the sense that, like, why do I want to talk to you? Like, I'm a big person. I don't listen to bullshit. And I'll let the world know that, is that if you're gonna talk to me and talk to me about what somebody else got going on, and we got shit going on right here, you can go that way, because I don't listen to bullshit. I don't care about what the next person has going on. I don't care what
Facts.
your friends doing. I don't care.
Facts.
I don't care about what this celebrity got going on. I don't care.
It has
They're
nothing to
not
do
putting
with
money
you.
in my pocket. They're not making me feel comfortable or stable. You're not putting me in a position to win. Then you're putting me in a position to lose. And if you're putting me in a position to lose, you need to go over there, loser. Like, that's just the way that I feel, wholeheartedly. So when I take that into my next situation, and I sit there and I dissect the situation that I want to be in, I gotta think about it and be like, well, am I gonna put myself in a position to win? That goes for like moving. That goes for a lot of things, bro. It's
Let,
like a
let
relationship.
me let me say
Of,
this.
okay, but
No, you got it. I was just
yeah,
it's interesting when I hear you speak on that, because to be honest,
yeah,
that that's kind of in retrospect where I was in the beginning of my breakup, about a
yeah,
year and a couple of change. It was just like, fuck everything. I'm just gonna move the way I want to move. But
yeah,
as I started to soul search, you know what I'm saying, and really dissect who I am as an individual, you know what I mean. I'm too much of a gift to succeed to others' actions. In a sense where, when you were touching on what you were saying, I feel like a lot of people have a tendency of thinking the grass is greener on the other side, and
it's not.
it's only green where you water it, and that's more of a day and age thing, where it's like
Yeah,
a lot of people will see others and be like, if we're not in this position, we're not doing anything, or we're complacent. When in actuality, you're not doing anything to better your situation. You're just comparing apples to oranges. Not even
Exactly.
how do what's the path that we need to get there? What do I need to do to help you along the way so we can get there? You know what I'm saying? Because it's one thing to come, like if a woman approached me, right, and I was in one of my complacent stages in life, which I will no longer ever be in that point in my life. But if a girl sat down and was trying to have a conversation about, like, yo, where do we see ourselves in about 5 years? You know what I mean? How does that look? And she gives me her breakdown of what her vision of 5 years look like, what success looks like for her. The question I'm gonna immediately ask her is, what are you gonna do for me to make sure I strive to get there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not about seeing the end goal as much as it is, what are you going to do on that path to get there? A lot of people don't want to see A, B, C, D. They just want A to D. You know what I mean?
Oh no, definitely. I mean, people's ideology of what things are supposed to be are very corrupted by the harsh realities of what it really is. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
That
what
goes
comes down
with
to substance and the substance of a person. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't mind having conversations with people. Because, like, with you said you totally don't like small talk. Actually, I rather enjoy small talk because I don't
like bullshit. I don't like bullshit.
Bullshit.
I
But
can't.
that's what I'm saying. Bullshit for me, even if it is bullshit, I'm gonna ask you questions. I'm a why type of guy. I'm gonna ask you why to everything that you say. I'm just keeping it 100, but you're gonna have to come with a complete explanation to why it is that you believe in whatever it is that you believe in. We're gonna get down to the bottom because I want you to separate reality from fiction. You know what I mean?
I mean, that goes with experience too. It's just like kind of like for me, that's more experience. It's like talking to people, and someone crying over spilled milk, but they're not about to go ahead and clean the mess up. Like they're gonna ask you for your opinion just to hear themselves talk in order to still go the same route and not take heed of advice. And that is a situation
that's why
I found my that's what I found myself in currently. Is like, bro, it's like I have all the ideologies and all the common sense to make better of the situation, and every time I put yourself in a situation to win, you throw the bag out. You're messing up, and that's even with like saying to listen to someone. Like, you like small talk. I only like conversation that is gonna feed the brain, because it's things that I need to remember. It's like passwords, it's like your social security. It's like things that matter, like birth dates, numbers, phone numbers, things that matter. And I only allow to store energy, knowledge that is worth storing. But to have small conversation about nothing, cool, bro. Like, I'll give you that 15 minutes or whatever to talk and say what you want to say, but don't ask me tomorrow about what we talked about yesterday, because depending on how I feel is whether that information was worth storing or not. I'm a person, you can ask me last month about a conversation, 2 months about a conversation. You can ask me about us hanging out. And I put myself in a mental place where, like, I only deal with what makes sense and what's worth dealing with. If it's not progressive, then it's not beneficial. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I find myself at now, is that,
right.
I
feel that. I feel that in a sense. But one thing about me is I'm a very observant person. You know what I mean? I people watch. I action watch. I listen to exactly what you say verbatim. I feel like that's very, very, very big in a sense, because it's not necessarily the big things that allow you to really understand the person. It's more or less the small ones. And if you start to piece together a lot of the small pieces, you get more of the bigger picture. You know what I mean? I'm one of those people that, like I said, I'm a why individual. So I'm going to make you give me more and more and more until I can paint the perfect picture. And then I'm going to deliver the picture I told you that I developed. And then I want you to really reevaluate, because that's more of a sense what I kind of look for in other individuals that are in my circle, is be able to evaluate me as a whole. And allow me to know, hey, these are the flaws. Let me correct my flaws if they're worth even correcting. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
for me, I don't mean small talk in the sense that it's like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how's your day?
Mm-hmm.
More or less for like a substance perspective, like something deep, something that affects you as a whole or on a day basis. So I can either help you along your journey or you can help me along my journey, because I'm all for giving people pieces. But when I give you a piece, do something with that. My pieces aren't just
giving out.
Yeah,
it's not gifted.
So when
gift
I give
wrap.
it to you, do something with it. And the moment I realize that, you know what I'm saying, I'm wasting my time, let me go ahead and take my steps. And I'm quick with that. I mean, I'm gonna allow you the opportunity to understand why I'm taking these steps back. I will shut you out, but I'll allow you the opportunity to know why I'm shutting you out.
Yeah, that's I 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. Because that's just, like I said, giving your time, giving your energy. Like the small talks is cool, bro. Granted, you're someone that's in my decimal. You're in my small little group of people. I'm willing to listen to small talk from people that I personally love. I'm willing to entertain that, but I'm not willing to just go out of my element to have conversation that I feel like that's not going nowhere. It's kind of like for me, like in my younger days, and you would say like 5, 6 years ago, like talking to somebody and realizing that it's not going nowhere. Kind of like, oh well, hey, how you doing? When we're gonna hang out? Well, I'm busy here. I'm busy there. I'm busy. You know what, bro? Let me just stop talking to you. Like block, like just remove. And they're like, well, why did you block me? Why did you remove me? And that's how I treat life. It's not that not the social media sense, real life. I can block or remove you. I can escape from a situation that I feel is going no further than than what it is. And that's the same thing with dealing with mental health, bro. Is that the solution? And what I believe, if you decide to play the video, the solution for me is that in order to find that peace of mind, that point of understanding, that point where you feel good internally, is to block out things that don't matter, people that don't matter, and to treat life as if, to get off of the mindset that like you can end life today if you want it. Life is tiring, bro. It's harder living, I bet, than dying. And I don't know the experiment of dying, but that's just the ideology for me. So like for me, death is probably the most peaceful thing. I've done the research. It's a sleep that you just stop caring and stop thinking about the things that stress you out on a daily basis. But to be a strong individual is a strong individual to want to live, because we're not perfect. We do transfer energies around us that don't have no business being around us, and in the same sense that you said, when you escape from that, you're a much happier person. And that's what it leads to. But yeah, I kind of want to get into this video that's over there, allow them to kind of take it from another person's perspective and kind of dissect that one as well.
Facts. Okay, give me 1 second. Go ahead and roll this one real quick.
You ever seen that guy that when he shows up in public, he looks like he's just unwavering in who he is as a man? Perfectly fine, nothing wrong, nothing could bother this guy. But for 1 second, would it surprise you that that same man will sit alone in silence? Maybe he's just laying there in his bed, looks out his living room window and just stares, and tries to block out one more thought from entering his mind. Because deep down, this guy is so overwhelmed and stressed, he just can't find himself anymore, and he's just holding in tears. Maybe he's saying, I'm just ready to give up. But somehow, that same man can still look you in the face, smile, and act like nothing has ever happened, because he cares more about you than he does himself. Can you guys relate to that? You ever seen that guy?
100% agree.
I agree wholeheartedly.
100% agree. 100% agree. That's what it is. That's what it is, man. It's we're taught, and we're given a lot of information right now. we're taught to just smile about things. And with a smile says 1,000 words, bro. It makes it seem like everything's great, everything's copacetic in life. People that see you with good energy will be upset about that smile, bro, because a smile says 1,000 words. Like people tell me, "Oh, you have such a nice smile," and because they believe I have such a nice smile, they believe everything's just going so well. Where it's like I'm sure if I interjected and I was a person, and I don't say it's attention seeking, but like I hate when people post themselves crying on social media because like I understand you're crying for help in a sense, but like before you posted that video and you decided to cry and allow yourself to be vulnerable for so many people, did you think that crying in front of so many people and allowing yourself to be vulnerable was also something that can add to the problem? Like I understand, but I have a heart for you, like bro. Yeah, it makes me want to reach out. If I see someone crying, like I'll reach out a lot quicker than someone saying, "Oh, I'm gonna hurt myself." But to the same extent, like I say, like decompressing, bro. Take time to think about it and realize, like I say, social media is a big reason why the uprise on depression is because, like I said, you have to deal with so many people that are influencers or whatever. They are the perpetuation of being a role model of what it is to be successful, or what it is to have a happy home, or what it like. I see it all the time. I see friends with both parents in the household taking care of their kid. I'm like, well, damn, what steps did she take or he take or whatever in order to make that a situation where both people are happy? And you even look at your situation. You might have been happy in the very beginning, but then you like take a backseat role in order to be like, well, damn, where did we go wrong in a sense where it affected me to where I wanted to stop doing all the things that made the situation work. And
see, but my situation is a little bit different in a sense too, because I don't stop. Like I said, I'm a hopeless romantic at heart. You know what I mean? And I'm genuinely a forever person. And that has to do with what I'm saying, some of my trauma that I had to cope with, and a piece of that is I genuinely value relationships that I built because I invest. You know what I mean? And that's why it means a lot more for me. So when you take advantage of that, you got to understand, like, once you do step out of that realm, it's an over thing for me, because
it's not coming back. Nah.
In any sense, because I truly and utterly invest into you. I don't necessarily just give pieces. I completely invest. I'm a forever individual. Once you have me for life. Once you prove that, you know what I mean? So
yeah. Well, I mean, when having kids, in a sense, kind of stuck with that person, whether you don't want to be around. Like and I feel like that as fathers and dealing with that, we can't and then that's what I think a lot of men deal with. Like I used to dealing with your situation. That's what makes and breaks men. That's what makes and breaks men. Is
nobody
that
want to talk about that?
Nobody wants to. We're always the bad guy in the perspective. If I choose not to see my daughter for a week or 2 weeks, I'm a deadbeat. If I don't contact my daughter in order to deal with my own mental, I'm a deadbeat. If I don't pick my daughter up or change my daughter or give my daughter unwanted attention, I'm a deadbeat. But when the shoe is on the other foot and like the things that I have to see, like continuously going out, continuously neglecting, then get a product for it, that goes into we're not gonna talk. We'll talk. I'll talk minor about it. It's like the recent thing with Kiki Palmer and like her boyfriend or baby daddy or whatever. So like as not even devil's advocate, like I played the role in saying like, all right, well, was this woman really sexualized or whatever? But like a lot of women brought it to the attention of the man's attention. It's like, okay, that is, you are a mother, you are supposed to have the narrative of covering up and stuff like that, and not being such a child in a sense to being overreacting to a performer or an artist. And I had to sit here and think about that because at first I was really on her side about it, but then from a men's personal perspective is like, I'm not a jealous person, and I think that's what decides me from a lot of people. It's like if I'm with you, bro, like even in my situation, I've never been like, you can't go out, you can't do this, you can't do that. But that's also from like an experiment perspective to making you realize like, when are you gonna wake up and realize that everything you're going out, you can do it at home?
Facts.
Everything that you're looking for is at home.
Facts.
Why want to be together? Why want to be in a situation where if you just stay home and you maybe take the time to listen to the things that I say and don't want to be a fucking hot girl all the time, you can have everything from at home, but you're not gonna do that after the fact of everything.
Yeah.
The pain is already there. The destruction is already there. The having to fix yourself is already there. You can't do it all after the fact. And the whole time this is an experiment thing is because I don't want you can't sit here. I take everything like you said. When you go into your next situation, I don't want nothing to be like, oh well, he didn't let me do this, he didn't let me do that. I allowed you to do everything, even though it affected with my mental. I had to deal with people telling me you're here, you're there. You're this old and you're doing this. It was so many red flags and stuff like that. And to the same extent, I really just peacefully just stay to myself in a sense, bro. I didn't look for
That's the problem. You never do that. You never do. You confront every situation.
I confronted every situation.
That was something I had a flaw with. It was I would allow off an experimental type situation. Okay, go ahead, go do you. But I'm gonna let you know what the consequences are, and that's one thing that I've always stand on. I'm gonna let you do whatever it is that you want to do. I'm gonna let you know what the consequences are. But again, that kind of played into my downfall too, because I am a forever person. So even though I would give you consequences, it still played into your hand because I'm not going nowhere. You know what I mean?
I think that's what it is the comfort of, well, for that situation, bro, I said that was a past experience to where you had somebody who didn't allow you to do the things, and I listened and you telling me that to allow you to do all the things that your prior problem was, but for you to become the problem in the situation, and then I kind of like learned from my point of view is that like there's a reason behind that because some of you guys aren't like when you're in a relationship, bro, you kind of remove freedoms that you're able to do because
and that's
you're taking that's okay, but respect that someone gives you the freedoms that they give you, and don't try to take somebody else's. You know what I'm saying? And for me, going with my situation going forward to being my own person, being back to my own person, not necessarily going through the steps that I took before, but to be able to be like, I'm only gonna deal with what I deal with. I'm in a different headspace, different mind, different point of view, different perspective. I have the right people around me. I have the right energy around me. I'm putting myself in the right positions in order to win. Is to really my only question and what I would ask and to try to like, in order to even wrap this up to a point to where we understand is as men dealing with mental health, what would you find to be the most detrimental on a mental aspect that puts you at a point to where you are? Is it your shortcomings in life? Is it the things that you see that are be the narrative of what you're supposed to have? Is it women in a sense? Because being a little boy and being a little kid, to have all the girls is everything. But to be as an adult, to have to have one woman genuinely is like is a goal. Like that's the goal, bro. Like I don't want to be no hoe, no slut, no more. Well, I mean, I might, in my sense, define in the pursuit of happiness, but for me, is that I want someone that we're both on the same basis, bro. Like someone that, like in my same situation, I can do the same thing with my same situation and give that to somebody else, and they wholeheartedly go about it the right way. To give you the freedom to go out, hang out with your friends. To give me the freedom to hang out, go out with my friends. To give you the freedom to watch your daughter from the same home. To give you the freedom to not, have somebody else take care of your kid, have somebody else call you mommy, or just stuff like that, or taking my time out to go do things that I genuinely don't have to do because that's not my child or that's not my situation, or I have other things that I want to do. I only ask that, and to for other people, and I would love to end that with that is what puts you in a position to where you were unhappy. Was it something that you could have fixed? Was it something that you could have done? Was it giving people too much space in somewhere where you should have kept your space to yourself? A lot of things about us growing up is we're still figuring out who we are as people. We're still figuring out. Yeah. Go ahead.
I wanted a buzzer, but I don't got a buzzer. I'm gonna have to work on getting a buzzer. I need a Family Feud buzzer. God damn it! I was ready for
chime in. Yeah.
But definitely, I think the key element to all of that is respect. Period.
Mm-hmm.
That's where everybody seems to lack is respect, bro. It's just respect for the individual, respect for those around you, respect in general. We lack that part. I mean, for instance, the Keke Palmer, that it wasn't about being controlling. It wasn't about her doing whatever she was, whether she wanted to look. It was about respecting him as your other half. You know what I mean? Him as the father of your child. It had nothing to do with what she was wearing. It had to do with the respect. Period.
I thought the only thing wrong in that situation, and that's what I said. I don't believe that he was necessarily wrong. It was just that, like I said, relationship is a business, and you know who you're dating, you know who you're with, you know all these things, man. Do that behind closed doors.
Respect
that wasn't a situation. Respect that, because don't ostracize it. That's the person that you lay under. That's the person you decide to have a child with, and that's what I've been trying to do for years and years and years.
Yeah,
is to try not to ostracize somebody that I hold a child with. Try not to hold that point of view. But when you are in a headspace where you believe everyone's talking about you, everyone is in your relationship, and it's not that. It's that these are already ideas that I have that I feel about you. That so a perspective of venting, because nowadays, before I met you, these were people that I talk to on a daily basis. They're people that I vent to, that I feel comfortable venting to, and being that a person that I said is so introverted into the sense that, like, I don't just make conversation with everybody. I make conversation with good energy. And to go off of that is just, like you said, respect, bro. Respect yourself, respect me, and respect the situation. And respect after the fact, to understand that what you did was wrong, what you did was foul, and respect the next person in the situation. So allow them to do something that you didn't do.
And that has to come on both sides too. You know what I mean? Because again, there's two sides to every story, and technically there's three sides to every story. There's your side, my side, and the truth. You know what I mean? Yeah. So everybody has to be respecting that in that sense. You know what I mean? And you got to be coherent in understanding all the information all together, not just hear your side. Never speak from your side of view and only believe in your side. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to grasp somebody else's point of view, because say for instance, one of the biggest like memes that I see that floats around that really do resonate is the picture of a 6 and a 9. You're on the other side, you see a 9. I'm on the other side, I see a 6. We're both looking at the same number. They're just pointed in two different directions.
Yeah.
But I have to respect your side as much as you have to respect my side. Respect my boundaries and my standards. Don't look at them as me being controlling, me trying to isolate, or, you know what I'm saying? If I tell you, like, if I'm in my mental health space, right, and I'm dealing with something, and I say, yo, I need a minute. You know what I mean? Even if that takes 1, 2, 3, 4 a week for me to find myself in a good headspace. Respect the fact that I need that space. Allow me to deal with what I need to deal with, because I don't want to project that to you. But you're going to put me in a situation where I'm forced to project it. I'm forced to be vulnerable until I'm in a good mindset, because, man, we deal with our trauma a lot differently than women. Women need to convey that information. We need to walk through it. You know,
exactly.
So
exactly,
it's all good if you want to speak on how you're feeling, but on my
you don't want to do that.
I can't do that. I gotta find a solution. Once I find, because we're problem solvers at the end of the day.
Yeah,
we have to make a solution to the problem. We can't just sit here and dwell in it, because if we dwell in it, we'll be defeated by it. Versus by you speaking on it, you're going to be like, okay, cool, I got it out, I release, now it's to the next day. No, I have to actually find a solution in order for me to be able to move forward. And if I can't find that solution, if I don't get the time, or, you know what I'm saying, the stability or the support to actually get to where I need to be, I'm never going to be okay. So
Preach.
At the end of the day, it's all about respect. Respect the fact that if I tell you to leave me the fuck alone, that's what that means. You know what I mean?
Preach.
Regardless of how much time that takes, leave me alone, and then let me solve this solution. Once I'm ready, we'll sit down. We'll have that one-on-one. I'll let you know where my head was at that point in time. But to ask me where my head is while I'm going through it, it's a no-go for me. And I feel like a lot of people find that attachment where they like, oh well, you're just shutting me out. You don't care.
That's selfish.
You know
That's
what I'm
selfish.
saying? And it's
Women, and people are selfish because it's detrimental, bro. That leave me alone. That give me some time. No, I'm not gonna I'll use that example. My mother had to help me in the situation and be like, leave him the fuck alone. Like leave Marquise alone. And for you to be like, no, what do I have left to give if I don't give you this? And I say that for men. I speak like I'm not a believer in domestic violence or anything like that. I think all of that is wrong, but I believe that it's all channeled behind negative and people not leaving the situation alone on both sides, bro. Like I said, peace, bro. Is leave people alone, give people time to think. People all it's like people dying, bro. People deal with it in different ways, bro. People mourn in different ways. You're mourning a relationship. You're mourning a situation that is the end all of everything, and you just kind of want to be done with it. Not every conversation is to be had. Not everything is to be discussed. I'm a big firm believer in that. I don't like having discussions. It makes me feel uncomfortable in the sense that I don't want to have it, and it's not something that needs to be said. But to give one their space, to give one the time to self-evaluate is pretty much what dealing with your mental is, because your ideas in your head are in your head. Your thoughts and your actions and what you believe that you're gonna do about a situation are in your head. You have to think about everything. Exactly, and you have to think about everything before you react. It's better to be.
That's how we're developed.
Yeah, we have to be proactive. We can't be reactive. Everything has consequence in life. So either you remove yourself from the situation in order to be better mentally, or you figure out whatever you figure out. But not everything is to come to compromise, and not everything is to be in the favor of the person who is the abuser, which I would love for another day for the topic to be. Okay. To be, our women, the abusers.
I'm for that.
But from a mental perspective too, to still speak onto it, because that's what I feel like nowadays. I feel like the narrative for hundreds of years, and men are just dogs. Men are just horrible. But nowadays, when we sit here and speak about women being the new men, are you guys really any better? Like do you guys not think that the things that you say don't have a long lasting effect on men? I believe it does. I believe it does. I believe it does. And with expectations and things like that. I believe that's a topic that I would love to digest. I would love to digest that with maybe a female guest or something like that. If anybody's listening or anybody's watching, from a female perspective, we won't digest from a relationship perspective. We can digest from actual experiences, things that we experienced, and I won't even go ahead and respond with saying that, oh well, that's your situation. I would just like to hear what you have to say, because I believe that women are the new abusers. Women are the new abusers, man. Not all women. I take that back. Not all women. Not all women. Don't get me wrong. From situations that men, like I say, from a domestic point of view, not me in a domestic point of view, but just saying is that there are areas out there that push a narrative to be what they may be. If the man is 6'6" and 310 pounds, you guys think he doesn't have feelings. You guys think that he's too big and too strong in order to be the one that's being abused. And y'all need to wake up. Y'all need to wake up in a sense, because anybody can. Mental pain is way worse than physical, bro. It's way worse than physical. I'm able to run 13 miles per hour into somebody who's 100 pounds bigger than me and deal with that and get back up. But for my mental to be shot, bro, it's tough to wake up when your mental is how it is. It's tough to get through the day. It messes with everything. It makes everything feel so much longer. It takes so much more energy, and it's something that needs to be protected. Protect men's mental health. Protect your mental health. Protect your well-being, and protect yourself, that you're an asset in everything that you do in life.
But everything. Be open. Let me make sure I'll slide that in there. Be open.
Yeah.
Don't shut yourself out. Just because you feel like you're worthy, that don't mean you shut yourself out. That don't mean you overinflate. A lot of people have an issue with overinflation. You gotta be. 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 You gotta you have to be vigilant in the fact that it's okay to know your worth, but also respect the worth of somebody else, because everybody brings value to the table. You know what I'm saying? Respect the plate.
Give both sides.
Yeah, respect the plate.
Allow both sides of the ball to have an effect on how the game that it is that you may be playing is decided, bro. You know, the battle of sports is based upon offense and defense. Don't be so defensive to where you don't let your guard up, which I say in a sense, but play the offensive into your nature that you are able to be the person who decides how your story unfolds. And that'll be, you know, on a mental perspective is that, you know, I say this, man, if you guys ever need someone to talk to, everyone needs someone to speak to, you just want me to, you know, listen to what it is that you have to say, I'm open ears for it. I'm not such, you know, you know, you can DM me, text me, whatever. Not everybody has my number. I'm not a big person to be on my phone, but if there's a situation where I can walk away for 10 to 15 minutes to just listen to you talk, to listen to you unwind, to listen to you discuss whatever it is, if I can help in any sense of the shape or the form, I don't have all the money in the world, shit. I'm in the negatives going to the positive, but I can help you out, my boy, my girl.
Safe place. It's a safe
whatever
place,
whatever. It's a safe space. It's somewhere you kind of feel comfortable. But like, yeah, I just, you know, I'm glad we were able to touch on a topic that I was so headstrong, so deep on my heart, so heavy on both of our chests, and to be able to, you know, it feels like a therapy session. You know, it's to the point where, you know, you get on here and you talk, and it doesn't feel like it's a job. It doesn't feel like it's work. It feels like it's the therapy that I feel like all my life that I needed. In a sense. Where, you know, talking to people one-on-one, everybody has this platform in order to hear how I am, how I feel. We are able to use this in a sense where if people really want to get to know us, you're getting to know us Saturday and Sunday, 2 o'clock, 2:30, 12 o'clock, 12:30, whatever start time. You're able to really dig deep into this.
Yeah, come if y'all interested in being a part of the conversation, definitely DM hit us on any of the platforms. We'll definitely try to reach out to you, and you know we'll definitely make it happen. If y'all have a topic y'all want to hear specifically, let us know. We'll definitely touch on it, see if we can get you as a guest star, and you know have a civil conversation. You know what I mean? So yeah, thank y'all for tuning in to the Prolifically Limitless podcast, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode.
Most definitely. I'm your Mac host. I just want to say everybody have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care, like you said, DM, reach out to us, be a part of something that is we on the rise, man. We on the rise. It's all about time. We can't do this without you.
Facts. We appreciate you guys. Tune in to your next episode coming Saturday.
Yes, sir.